All right. Again, I want to remind everybody that all workshop council meetings will be audio and videotaped. They'll be shown on the Township of Ocean Community Cable Channel, Channel 22 on Verizon Fios and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Roll call, please.
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Councilmember Achara?
Here.
Kaplan? Here.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, and the coasts are posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on January 3rd, 2025. First item for discussion, we have a resolution to appoint the attorney to fill the unexpired term of Matthew Good. Do we have that resolution handy? Thank you. So do I have a motion to approve? You've got. Do I have a motion to approve an agreement with Kevin Starkey from the firm of Starkey, Kelly, Keneally, Cunningham, Turnback, and Yanone for township legal services and tax appeals at a cost not to exceed $75,000, as well as a retainer in the amount of $18,000 for the attendance at meetings and other items as set forth in the agreement for the period January 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Can I have roll call?
Achara?
I'm going to read a little bit of a statement. You guys know I'm against this, so bear with me. For 60 years, the Township of Ocean has prided ourselves on being a nonpartisan town. Our commitment has always been to hire and appoint professionals based solely on their skills, experience, and ability to do the job, not based on political party affiliation. This approach is consistently followed by mayors, starting with Joe Pillay and including Bill Larkin and Chris Siciliano, who, to name a few, made hiring recommendations without regard to political connections. They understood that the best person, organization, or firm for the job was always the priority, regardless of political background. During my 10 years serving on the Ocean Township Council, I collaborated with many colleagues to ensure that we hired or appointed local, highly skilled professionals, preferably those with ties to Ocean Township. This approach led to a selection of top engineers, attorneys, and accountants, along with legal positions including the township attorney, prosecutor, and judge, who have all performed admirably. We took immense pride in having industry-recognized professionals representing us, and we believe that these decisions served our community well. However, I am deeply concerned about the direction Mayor Napolitani is taking to replace the position of Township Attorney. Matt Good, most recently Township Ocean Attorney of the firm Arbus, Maybach & Good, was approved by the New Jersey Legislature on December the 19th and recently assigned as a judge in the Superior Court Family Division of Monmouth County. Mr. Good and Mr. Arbus prior to him were dedicated attorneys who served Ocean Township well and who either lived in or attended school in Ocean Township. I wish Mr. Good much success in his new role as on the bench. The township still has a contract with Arbus, Maybach & Good, allowing Mr. Arbus to remain in the position that he has filled for over a decade. Yet, Mayor Napolitani's recent decision to hire Kevin Starkey in the firm of Starkey, Kelly, Keneally, Cunningham, Turnbeck, and Yenin, I think I'm saying that right, I apologize if I'm not, of Toms River for his critical position goes against the nonpartisan practice that has served Ocean Township so well. Not only does Mr. Starkey not reside in Ocean Township or Monmouth County, but his firm is not based in either Ocean Township or even Monmouth County. Mr. Starkey is also the founder of a grassroots coalition, a super PAC political action committee, created to boost the re-election efforts of Senator Gopal. He is entitled to have started and run the PAC, but his blatant political affiliation alone should disqualify Mr. Starkey from consideration for the key role of attorney in our nonpartisan town. Even more troubling is the way that the mayor has managed this process. Rather than engage in an open procedure with interviews, Mayor Napolitani introduced Mr. Starkey to me via text as Matt Good's future replacement, without any formal consultation or discussion with the council. This raises serious concerns about transparency and fairness in the selection process. Additionally, it is important to note that Mr. Starkey has also received an admonition reprimand from the Disciplinary Review Board of the Supreme Court of New Jersey for failing to keep a client reasonably informed about the status of a matter and for neglecting to protect the client's interest upon termination of the representation. Is this the kind of individual we want representing Ocean Township? Would you want a doctor who has been disciplined by the medical board to operate on you? Heck, would you want a mechanic who is less than a AAA rating for the Business Bureau working on your car? I urge the mayor, deputy mayor, and councilwoman to consider whether this is truly the best course for our town. We have long prided ourselves on a nonpartisan approach where professionalism and integrity matter far more than political connections. There are many qualified local attorneys who would be eager to take the role of township attorney for Ocean. We deserve to continue the nonpartisan tradition and place the well-being of our community first, not the need to satisfy a political payback. I vote no.
Kaplan,
Mayor.
I'm sorry.
There's no one voting.
Fisher?
I'm a yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Napolitani?
Not that I'm surprised, but disappointed in Councilman Achara and the comments that he made in regard to the incoming attorney. The fact that you threw my name in that little statement of yours and made it look like it was a unilateral decision. It was more of a, hey, you need to meet somebody and discuss it. Your choice not to call the attorney back yesterday was your choice. Everybody met
did
with...
speak.
Excuse me,
We
I'm
spoke.
voting. You spoke.
We spoke.
You spoke.
We did speak.
Excuse me.
We
You
did speak.
spoke,
I
you
just want to
made...
get the facts right.
Excuse me.
We
You
spoke.
made your statement, now I'll make mine.
But we did speak.
Again, you made your statement, I will now make mine.
Got it.
Off the cuff. You had no problem in 2015 getting support from the senator, nor did you have any problem in 2023 either. It's funny how you wanted to go one way all the time. And we met Saturday to discuss this because you wanted to negotiate.
No. Didn't want to negotiate.
Hold on, again, Rob, I didn't
But
interrupt
you got to get the facts right.
Okay.
Mine is
didn't-
factual.
Excuse me. No, actually yours isn't factual.
Totally factual.
So with that being said, disappointed but not surprised in your conduct, which is absolutely horrific that you would do it and not have a discussion with the gentleman prior to your vote
I did.
to let him know you weren't supporting him, which you did not.
I let you know.
Therefore, I vote yes. Welcome aboard, Kevin. And you may, at this point, Kevin, answer anything that was thrown in that statement by Councilman Achara.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank all the council for appointing me. I'm committed to do, as I've done with many other towns represented, the best job I can. And I don't want to get in dispute with members of the council, but I know you want to get the facts right. I want to get the facts right, too. So I just want to give you a little bit of my background, because I think you questioned a little bit about my qualifications. I graduated from Georgetown Law School, graduated near the top of my class. I was on law review there. After that, I clerked for Justice Dan O'Hearn, who was in Red Bank for the New Jersey Supreme Court, which is a prestigious clerkship to have. I worked for a few years in New York and then came to New Jersey. I've represented clients on both the private side and the public side. I've had literally thousands of clients, countless clients. I've worked in probably at least a couple dozen municipalities as general counsel, special counsel, labor counsel. I think you could contact anyone at any one of those municipalities, Democrat, Republican, independent, non-affiliated, and every single person I've represented, I believe, would speak well of me. I pride myself on giving good service to clients. You mentioned that I don't reside in Monmouth County. That's factually incorrect. I do reside in Monmouth County. I live in Real. I've lived there for 15 years.
I stand corrected.
And you talked about a PAC. I do run a PAC. It's not correct to say it was formed to elect Senator Gopal. It has nothing to do with Senator Gopal. It is by law an independent expenditure committee. It's a federally regulated political action committee. It cannot be affiliated with any partisan campaigns. And I've got a number of contributions. I'm happy to disclose that. That's all disclosed, easy for anybody to look on the federal website. I've actually gotten more contributions from Republicans than I have from Democrats, which I think is a testament to people viewing me as not a partisan individual. Right now, I've been general counsel to Tinton Falls, a nonpartisan community. They pride themselves on acting without partisanship, but I'll note that the mayor there is Republican, 3 of the council members are Republican, one's a Democrat and one's an independent. It doesn't matter to me. Frankly, my personal view, I think partisanship on the local level is sort of ridiculous. It doesn't help get things done. You fill the potholes, respond to your constituents, you manage your budget. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent. And that's the way I do my practice. I don't care what partisanship of people I represent is. I give them all the same treatment. You mentioned an ethics charge. Out of the thousands of clients, I had one who was unhappy. It happens. And because of that, I got the lowest level in admonition, which is essentially the committee saying, don't do what you did again, which was, I got into a fight with a client, which I should not have done. Over a 34-year career with unblemished service, except for that one, I think you should look at the entirety of what I've done. And despite the 3-1 vote, I'm going to pledge to serve all of you equally and as well as I can. And again, I thank you for the appointment.
Thank you, Kevin. Greg, project updates.
Okay. First one, 23 road program, as we discussed last week, that's going to be on hold until the spring when the weather warms up. 24 program, we got authorized to go, so we're proceeding with the work on that one. Kempwell project, the asbestos inspection quotes and the demolition quotes are due tomorrow for that project. Whale Pond Crossing, we're waiting for additional funding to get a flood hazard area permit for the first crossing. Second crossing, that's waiting funding for the entire project. That's the second large crossing that goes across the Poplar Brook on Whale Pond. Next one is Lollipop Pond dredging. I'm sorry, I skipped over Fireman's Pond. Fireman's Pond, they're gonna be submitting probably tomorrow the fish lowering permits, or the lake lowering permits for the Fish and Wildlife. That is the last thing we have to do to get the permits to dredge that pond.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's taken a
It's
while.
amazing.
Yeah. So that we're in pretty good shape, and we weren't really planning on dredging that till the spring, so it's gonna come in kind of perfect timing. The other ones, the next one, Lollipop Pond, waiting for authorization. I talked to the DEP, we can use the funding for the dredging portion. We can pay for the soil testing and the wetland stuff. The funding can pay for those. Whereas the bridge design, we had the bridge funding that we've got has to pay for the bridge. We can only take 5% of the engineering off of that funding. So essentially, it was kind of a different thing, and most of the time when we get state funding, like the TTF project, you only get a 5% reimbursement for engineering. On the Lollipop Pond dredging, because most of that is all engineering for the soil testing and lab testing, they're letting us use the part of the grant, all the grant money to pay for most of that testing, which is the lion's share of the bill, which is nice to find out. So that one, as soon as we get authorization, Ricky's working out the budget numbers, we can start on that. Terrace Pond, we're continuing on, we're just getting things straightened up. We're kind of focused on firemen's. Terrace Pond is right behind it, the testing is all done, the plans are pretty much done. All we have to do there is just get all the final plans buttoned up and do the lake lowering permits for that one, and we can submit that one for permits. So that one we weren't planning on dredging until I think the spring of '26. So that one, because Lollipop was gonna be next year. We're gonna do Fireman's, then we're gonna do Lollipops, then we're gonna do Terrace Pond, and then Snell's Pond. And Snell's Pond, we're still waiting for those last 4 people they're like a never land. There's no contact with them at all, it's amazing. We sent them 4 or 5 letters. I know Eric Aguilar's been trying to get a hold of them. He has been trying to get a hold of them. We'll keep trying, but it's kind of frustrating. Next project, 1515 Logan. We're done with this project. The DEP sent me an email on Monday saying that they just need everything in one file because they file everything digitally. They had things in pieces from us as they requested it. We filed it. They're asking us to send them one digital file, which we're putting that all together and we'll submit to them by the end of the week.
So what does that mean?
That means
once they get it, we're good?
We're pretty much done. Well, there's gonna be a permit fee associated with it, but yeah, they're getting to the point, when they start talking about how much their fees is, that's when we know what's close to being done. So yeah, that one should be coming fairly soon. And I think we talked in our projects meeting about where probably gonna have some kind, I don't know if it was gonna be a committee or how we were gonna do that, but we wanted to get a couple people together, talk about how we wanna put that out to bid. Mostly from my point of view, engineering, because remember, we only got the preliminary approval on that, because I didn't want to get final approval, because we didn't know how any developers were going to take it as a final approved project, having to build all lots at once. We're gonna give them the option. We can get final approval for the project in a matter of a month, it's just a matter of filing the map. But we wanted to leave that open. And the only other thing we have to do was the soil erosion permit, because that was gonna be a function if they wanna build it all or in pieces. And we didn't wanna get the wrong permit, because if you get the whole thing, it's just a much larger fee if they wanna build 2 or 3 lots at a time. But that's another thing, it's like a 30-day permit, maybe 60-day max, but that can all be gotten once we know who the bidder is, we can proceed, and once we know what they want, we can proceed with those plans. So that one's in pretty good shape, ready to go. But I think it's a good idea we get together and figure out how we wanna advertise this for bids, because it's, just from my point of view, I wanna be able to tell everybody what the status of the project is with respect to where the approvals are and what we're asking them to provide us with. So, but we're in good shape with that one now. Next item is the Bimler traffic area. I have a meeting scheduled for Monday, 11 a.m. with the committee down there. I guess it's a committee, it's more of a group, I guess. But just to talk about, we're gonna make that one, we're gonna suggest making that one-way, Bimler, one-way in. I'm sorry, one-way out, blocking the in traffic. After we come with that decision, I'll send a nice letter to the county to let them know.
And we have the.
I'm
we-
sure
we
they'll
have-
love that.
Yeah.
We have the belief, understanding that they're in favor of that, or we're not sure, and
why I
that's
had
why
the
the
meeting,
committee,
yeah.
okay,
Uh,
we're not
they-
sure either way.
They kind of came up with that first, and then when they got a lot of resistance from everybody on
Right.
that's when they went to the stop signs at every intersection, which was, not a good idea either, I don't think. Just aggravates everybody in that case. So I think this will probably satisfy, because we get the traffic from coming in, that's 99% of the problem.
Right.
They had a bunch of ideas, they just wanted to be part of the process. So I think if you
Yeah.
meet with them, they'll
Yeah.
be great.
So I think we'll be fine. I'll report back next meeting what the decision about all that was. The trail, bike trail, pedestrian trail on Rollard Road is done. We're submitting, getting the paperwork, I'll submit that for final payment to DOT.
Looks nice.
Yeah, that came out very nice.
Is that gate, so I was there, I don't know, last weekend I think I ran through there. Is that gate always open now?
Now it is, only 5 feet wide. So a car can't go through it, but a bike and a pedestrian will just ride through there pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, we talked it over with the emergency management people, and they didn't have a problem with it at all. It looks like it's stuck in that position.
That's why I asked, I wasn't sure, that's, yeah.
That's the problem, but yeah, everybody will get used to that. The DPW facility on Cindy Lane, we're waiting, I think that'll probably be summertime when we get the wetland stuff worked out on that piece of property, and we can figure out how we're gonna move forward. Next one's Creamer Court Bridge. That's pretty much done. I'm still waiting for an answer from Blue Acres on the sidewalk that leads up to the bridge, but we are working. The final thing we have to do there is put the lighting on.
So you're gonna do that?
Yeah, we kind of figured out the lighting won't last all night, so we're probably just for safety reasons, even though, how many people really cross the thing at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I think it's really a safety thing for the police to be able to see the bridge and make sure nobody is out there. So we will end up putting those lights in, we'll try to keep them low, it'll be 1/2 foot candle max, so across the bridge, so it'll be not really strongly lit. Next one is the stream cleaning. The second portion of the project, that was the distance between Monmouth Road and Whale Pond. That's kind of on hold until we do our test pattern on Holly Terrace. Holly Terrace was the piece it's Washington and Holly Terrace as you come to the west. There was one piece of property. We own, there's a stream corridor easement up except for one property. We're trying to reach out to that one property owner. I sent that to you today. Do you know her?
I sent you the phone number.
Oh, did you? Okay,
Yeah.
great, thanks, I appreciate that. So once we get that, we got the new machine in now, it's operational, so we're gonna try to go in there with borough forces and clean that piece of the stream out. If that works, then we're gonna catapult over between Monmouth and Whale Pond and clean that section out with our machine, because it's much smaller, easier to maneuver in there, we're gonna cause much less destruction than most contractors would do. So that's in good shape as long as that works and we don't cause a problem. Winter time's perfect time to go because the ground's kind of frozen. So it should work out pretty nicely, as long as she says yes. I don't know why you wouldn't, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. The next dredging is the piece that we're doing from, in Joe Playa Park from Whale Pond West to the backside of the Ocean Commons property. That, we got the bid and we awarded it. I'm walking that tomorrow with him and he's starting that de-snagging portion next week. So that's gonna get us most of Poplar Brook east of 35. That'll get all of it actually, except for the piece through, between Whale Pond and Monmouth. So that we'll be in really good shape if that happens, if we can get through there.
Steve's gonna see if our equipment can handle that, right, at some
Yeah,
point?
it's just a matter, I'm sure it can handle it, it's just a matter of, the people that operate have to get used to, maneuvering through trees, because we can't take trees down, obviously.
And then, Greg, we talked about a phased approach. Obviously, we're way ahead of what we ever
Yeah.
thought we were gonna do.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna
Extremely.
take us 5 years to do the Poplar Brook, and we're gonna have, well, most of it done in a year. And
Beautiful.
if that works out with our machinery, and we can get that done this spring, we'll have all of Poplar Brook east of 35 done in 1 year.
What's
Or-
next?
Then well, next thing, there's some small areas, and it's really a function of how well this machine works with the DPW, because there's some small fingers of streams that I wanna fix, like through the golf course. It's part of the, it's an offshoot of the Poplar Brook, but there's a flat area in there that I wanna do, because there's a lot of flooding occurs in that, on the homes around that area. A couple areas like that, but then I wanna jump up to the, Whale Pond Brook and de-snag that stream. So then we'll have the two major stream corridors. Once we get those done, and I would expect even more success up there, because it's easier access. Once we get that done, and if we get that done in a year's time, then I'm gonna spend the next couple of years just doing these little finger pieces that, are nuisance to localized areas that really don't, get quite the attention that we get when everybody floods. But that's what we'll work on next.
Good.
Okay, the other thing I have on here, we're waiting for funding, we're gonna put that additional piping system in on Runyon to offshoot all the flooding at Washington and Holly Terrace area. Because what happens is a lot of piping comes into that brook, and then it comes to open piping, open ditch, and it just can't handle it. So we're gonna put a relief section of pipe down Runyon to Washington, and I just haven't worked out the details how I'm gonna dovetail that into that piping down there. I may just let it bubble up, but I gotta look at the hydraulics. But that'll probably be, most likely be part of the road program for the 24 road program, which we're currently designing. I'll probably add that into that, just so that it gets done, because we kind of promised that neighborhood we would be looking into that. So that'll probably be done in the fall, once we get the bids in the summertime. And the last thing I have on my list, and I haven't had a whole lot of success, and I've been trying to I haven't really tried too hard to get hold of the lady. I'm trying to get hold of this is the lady that was at the last council meeting, 117
Alice?
Sheridan.
Alice?
And I went over, we looked at it, and there's flooding on the corner of Sheraton and Roselle, but based on the address on the opposite corner of her. And I really didn't see anybody that was there's a person that was working to the north of her, the topography would just run through the street. So we're gonna have to get more involved and probably knock on her door and have a discussion with her exactly what's happening there. Because there is a pool that was started, there was no work going on for the last couple of weeks when I've been looking at it, just to the north of her. But like I say, that topography appears to run straight to the street, so I don't know why that would be flooding her. But I will reach out to her in person and try
Thanks.
to meet with her. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Greg. Any questions? We'll start with Rob.
Nope, I'm good, thank you. Good.
Me
Very,
too.
very thorough. Got nothing.
I'm good, thanks.
Came out unscathed. Dr. Fish?
So, 1515, obviously we're waiting on, but once we get the go, we're gonna just demo that and get that out.
Well, we kind of, the demo will take, I think, what I would suggest, we kind of always talked about demoing that when we know who the bidder is, kind of thing, just to make sure once the bids are in and we accept the bid, then I would demo the building.
Okay.
Because with the changing laws at the DEP and stormwater and coverage and all that, once you take that building down, if 12 months go by, it's like it's an open field anymore.
Got it.
And I just don't want to risk that, because they would set us back tremendously,
Fair enough.
because there's a lot of coverage on that lot.
Yeah, some people were asking what's going on there, so.
Yeah, it's getting closer now.
Okay.
The DEP's been a lot of fun, but they're just extremely slow.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Dave, any?
So, Mayor, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Tonight I got one for this session, I've got one for closed session, it's a legal real estate matter. But tonight, I need to request from the council a special meeting, as the court's fourth round administrative director is now requiring a binding resolution to be submitted along with the full declaratory judgment filing. Both the DJ filing and the resolution will need to be submitted and posted on the township's website within 48 hours of when the resolution is adopted. This is all in that new fourth round information that was just signed, and we have till January 31st, which is the final date to do this. Otherwise, we lose our immunity, which we do not want to lose. So, therefore,
Can we do it on the
I was gonna say,
23rd when we
well,
have it? Just do it at the work session?
27th. That's getting
It's
canceled.
got to be
23rd 's
the
getting-
formal a formal council meeting. 'cause
Yeah,
it
then
has to
we
be
have a
resolution
formal one
adopted by the
scheduled on the
council.
23rd?
Do
We're
it.
gonna
We're
cancel it.
canceling it.
No, I'm canceling that. That's what I'm doing.
You're only gonna have two
Cancel.
people, I think.
Don't
So we could do the 30th or the 27th?
No, they're all,
So,
they're here.
now-
The only one not
I'm
here is
not
you.
there, yeah.
We can
Dave's here.
handle this.
I'm here.
If everybody's
So is Rob.
comfortable, passing a resolution, we don't need the planning consultants, but they're available the 23rd and the 28th if you want them to come to the meeting. And I also suggest that we could do it virtually if necessary.
Well, we have the 23rd already scheduled, which we did not cancel yet. We could do it during the work session at 5 o'clock, get it all.
But do we
I
have
don't think
quorum,
I'm
though?
quorum for that.
We do, we have Dave
I'm
and,
here.
Rob's not away the 23rd of January, they're going away in
Well,
February.
Correct. However, respectfully, after,
Jesse?
thank you, said that we were canceling it, I did plan something else.
Okay.
If I gotta cancel it, I gotta cancel it. It's work-related, but that's, if we're gonna keep it, just let me know.
Like I say, you don't necessarily, every town in the state is under the same requirement by the 31st. You don't have to have the planner at the meeting, the planner's just gotta give you backup to support the resolution. So if that helps with your flexibility.
Can we do it, because we're gonna have a meeting on the 30th? Can we do it on the is that cutting it too
30th
close?
is too close.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine, just asking.
We
That was part of the plan. She
Oh,
didn't want to
okay.
do it, she was sweating it out, so.
We're
we
gonna
don't-
have a closed session on the 27th to go through all
Just
the
either work
interviews.
with somebody.
interviews. Do you
Yeah,
wanna do it?
take action that night.
Somebody got sick and then we don't have quorum.
That works for
We
me.
can
I
do
mean, it's
the
better for
27th.
me if it's,
We can
if
do
we
a
can
quick
do
that
it.
and then go into
So-
executive session for
Or you can do
interviews.
virtual.
That's what I said.
It's fine.
What day are we interviewing?
The 27th.
7th.
What time do you wanna start? Well, we can talk about that after
Okay.
we get some of the,
Do you want to do it on the since you're not having a planner come?
We can do on the 27th when we do the
Since you're already
interviews,
here.
we could come, do action, and then, I
Mhm.
mean, that's not gonna take
Okay.
long, right?
No,
No.
that's it.
5
Do
minutes.
that, you're in and out, you do have to have a public portion, and you're done.
Right, start at 5 like we
Yeah.
normally do, and
and
then go right into interviews.
okay.
How
There's
long do you
not
think
a
huh?
planning board meeting that night, is there?
There is, but we're gonna be,
Oh, okay, in a different room?
we can
You
be
can
done,
do it
yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but we're doing the
Planning board
interviews.
uses this for.
They use this at
caucus.
Oh, they do
starting,
caucus.
yeah.
But we're gonna do
from
the
like 6:30
interviews
to
in
7.
your manager's
Conference room.
conference room. But we could
Okay.
go downstairs real quick at 5 o'clock, do the meeting and come right back up, because they're
Yeah.
not here at 5.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then start our interviews 5:30.
okay.
All right, so
What
it's
the-
gonna be
okay.
5 o'clock on the,
Pete, you just let them know you won't
What's
be
the
at
date,
the planning
Jeff?
board meeting that
27th.
night.
27th.
Right,
5 p.m.
27th?
The 27th, yeah.
Okay, I just gotta let the planner know.
Then
All the
it-
documents will come to me, I'll get them to you, Jesse, and you can push them out to the,
Okay.
to the council.
Is there any, it is what it is? I mean,
Yeah, right now, we're looking at an unmet need plus the current need, 217, which in my opinion is not bad.
but I mean, there's no, we're passing it, period. I think
Yeah,
there's
oh,
nothing-
yeah, I mean, you don't have to,
No,
but there's
I-
ramifications with
Right.
that, and I wouldn't
If you
recommend.
don't- if you don't pass it, you open yourself up to a billion
Yep.
remedies, so you lose your immunity,
Yeah.
there are all kinds of
This
problems.
is
with
for
it.
Joey Valentine.
Not
Thank
worth
you.
fighting.
Right.
If it was like 2,000, something like
Right.
that, then we might wanna take a look or something. Where, where we putting that at?
Yeah.
Still wanna know what Rumsden's gonna do.
Yeah, I'm watching that closely too,
That's one of my, and Homedale lost the lawsuit.
Yeah, I saw a lot back in the day with the remedies and people lost out, so it's not working.
So we're good with 5 o'clock on the
5 o'clock on the
27th?
27th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and
good.
I'll let the planners know they're not required, but like I said, as soon as I get everything, I'll send
Okay.
it to the clerk and the attorney.
And then for
then
the-
push it out to you guys.
The other meeting, we'll do 5 o'clock on the 30th, because we're in the.
Yeah, you need the appointment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a regular council meeting?
No, we gotta schedule a
is now.
special one.
Okay.
What
Yes,
date's that
that's
gonna
what
be?
they
That's a
That's the
Thursday.
appointment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to schedule 2 special meetings, the
Yeah.
27th and 30th.
Right.
Busy week.
Yeah.
Got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, answer.
Talk about it
And that's it,
tomorrow.
I'm done, man.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Can I talk about this tomorrow?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Tonight there's
Well, I don't mind
resolution
that,
on the
John.
agenda.
Yeah, because that's not-
Resolution.
That's the part that gets me outside of the village.
The civil rights policy and the equal opportunity.
Mhm.
I can't remember, yes, everybody has to sign this sort of affidavit that we're, thank you very much. I like to do too, I like to always have an original.
Such a clerk.
A little crazy that one.
Doesn't matter, blue or black?
Nope.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We're going around the horn for questions for Greg. Let's go, any comments, anybody wants to make questions, and, go around the horn.
I think we're good.
Start with Rob.
I thought we were good on that.
I did that for Greg.
Oh, you just said.
I always go around.
No, I thought you just said Greg.
No, I said any questions for Greg, now we're going around.
Oh, got it.
Council comments.
So, Dave, we talked about JCP&L and the amount of outages they've had. Greg, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
And
Greg.
did you notice there was a town in North Jersey that is suing them for $1 million?
I did not.
Yes,
Okay.
saying exactly what we discussed, that they have not provided the service that they're supposed to, they're not investing in the infrastructure, and my phone, I brought my case, but I forgot my phone.
Oh, that's,
Intermittent
the
outages.
County of Ocean has threatened to.
County, thank you,
Yeah.
county. I said up north, my bad, yes. Sound,
They haven't come through it yet, but they announced last meeting, we want to do this.
what do you
So-
think?
I think that if the County of Ocean does it, I think we should wait and see if they
Right,
do it.
right.
If they do it, it's easier to jump on board than
Right.
for you to take the lead. But
Exactly.
I'm a lawyer, I'm all for litigation, you know, so.
But we were talking, I mean,
So is
it's a, we were discussing how often they've gone out, and the fact, and I don't know if I told you this, or I thought of it after we talked, that if, I guess public, you were concerned that if we did have them fix things, they'd have to raise rates. Well, they wouldn't just raise ocean rates, keep me honest, they'd have to go and raise the
Oh, yeah.
whole state, so would we benefit if that were the case?
Well, now that other people are taking traction, and
Yeah.
forgive me for my ignorance because I'm not a lawyer, but can't we join that case if
We can.
necessary?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what I mean, I think.
forget what the term is.
It's the county doing it. They have a lot more resources
Right.
than you do. If they're gonna jump in and go after them, you know, the facts are a little different. There, it's largely focused on the huge increase in population in Lakewood, that the infrastructure is not being built up to
Sufficient.
support.
Right.
And that's, but it's Lakewood, the surrounding towns is having problems as a result of it. Similar issue, though, that the
Well, right,
infrastructure
yeah.
is not being, you know.
Taken care of.
Taken care of. So, my suggestion would be, let's wait and see if they follow through with it.
Yeah.
It might just, I mean,
Track it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, that's all I had.
I'll do a Google track.
It is one of the complaints we get very often.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, my office too. A lot of people call because the outages happen. And,
Yeah.
you know, we don't control it, but we call our JCP&L rep and they say it's sometimes a pole down and ending up
That
like
one, yeah, sure.
But if it's their equipment,
Yeah, the light is out,
Yeah.
but, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
That's all I had.
Geeta?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Dave?
I'm good.
I'm good too. Quick.
Closed session.
Motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I want to remind everybody that all Township Council meetings will be audio and videotaped. They'll be shown on the Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22 on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Council members Achara?
Here.
And Kaplan? Here.
Can everyone please stand as we pledge allegiance, and we will be doing a silent prayer for all of the residents affected in the state of California that are, you know, battling this raging fire out there. We pray for them. We hope that they're safe, and we pray to God that they put these fires out. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. You may be seated. Notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk on January 3rd, 2025. There are two emergency exits to my right that'll take you to the front of the building, and one to my left that'll take you to the rear. All cell phones must be turned off. If you have to make a call, kindly step outside, make your call out there. I'm going to start off with council comments, and I'm going to start down at the end with Dr. Dave, Deputy Mayor Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. As some of you have probably heard by now, Councilwoman Kelly Terry has resigned as of January 1. And I just want to take a moment to thank Kelly for her service to the township. She's an incredible person. She's one of the toughest people I've ever met. We are going to miss her. Probably what I'm going to miss the most are her emails. Her lexicon is somewhere between Wordle and the New York Times crossword puzzles. But I'm going to miss her. And Kelly, we thank you for everything you did here. One of the things that Kelly was always obviously, big for was, honoring her daughter Maya's legacy. As a council, I'd like to, affirm that we will continue that honor. And if we can grow that honor, that would be great too. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Dave. Councilwoman Kaplan.
Just echoing as I usually do Dave's comments because he chose his seat. Just really so appreciative to Kelly. She was a mentor when I first came on the council, and I hope that she'll continue to be, even if it's in an informal way going forward, and wishing Kelly the best of luck. I also want to welcome our new township attorney, Kevin Starkey, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Achara.
I'll echo both of their comments regarding Kelly. The council is certainly less fortunate not to have her on. She's been a tremendous asset, but family comes first and health comes first as well. So thank you, Kelly, for all your years of service. One other thing, Mr. Mayor, the Greater Ocean Township Chamber of Commerce scholarships are out. You can go to the website, gotcc.org. Scholarships are due probably in about a month, but all the details are there. We gave out over $5,000 in scholarships last year, so hopefully the residents and other students in the area that are interested can apply, and we'll certainly be happy to give out some more money this year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Dave.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to also send best wishes to Kelly and a welcome aboard to Kevin. And I also want to just pay respect and homage to the life and legacy of our late former President Jimmy Carter on this day of mourning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And Kevin, you have anything you want to say before I make a few words? Say a few words.
I just want to thank to the mayor and council for your appointment, your vote of confidence in me and my firm. I'd just like to acknowledge my law partner Scott Cornelius sitting in the audience as well, and I know he appreciates the appointment, and we will serve the township well. Any questions you ever have, please call either me or Scott.
Thank you, Kevin. And Kelly was a tremendous asset to this council. Not only did she serve with me, but she's been a personal friend of mine since our two children met when Maya was battling pediatric cancer. That's how we became close. My son was her little boyfriend, and he used to sit with her in the hospital. I watched this kid really grow up, and when I saw what a young man he came, I did want to kick him in the tail a few times, but I always blame his good manners and the way he acts due to Maya and what he learned from her and the strong personality that Kelly has, which flowed into the council. And Dave, you're 1,000% correct about the emails. And the way that you can join me is we'll get you on the Maya and Terry Foundation, and you can get like 4 or 5 emails a day. Kelly, you know how I am. And then she would say to me, well, John, you didn't even read them. I said I couldn't keep up. Great person, great family. The Urban family have been involved in the municipality for many, many years. So tremendous asset. Going to totally miss her. And, we wish her well, and we hope she has a speedy recovery. Dave, thank you for mentioning the former President, Jimmy Carter. I had obviously would have said the same thing that you did, life and legacy of our former president and humanitarian that he was. And what he did in his role as the former president was just absolutely amazing in what he did, for humanity and things of that nature. So I'm, saddened, but, I got to tell you, 100, that's pretty good. I would sign on right now for that. But, to the Carter family, we extend our, well wishes. So now we're going to skip the Eagle Scout ceremony. Joey had something pop up. I just sent a message to his dad back that we would be more than happy to add this to the agenda in February. Joey's got some heck of a background, and I honestly really think he needs to be honored. So, Joey hopefully will be here in February if he doesn't have a prior commitment. Young college boy, they have lots of stuff going on. So now we have our public questions and resolutions on vouchers. I'm going to read the statement on the consent agenda, and then our attorney's going to make a statement as well. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on the agenda, and it's not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an agenda item should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. I'm going to let Kevin make a quick, brief statement, and then we will start with the public portion of the resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. As part of my ramp up to be the township attorney, I reviewed some of the meetings on video prior to tonight. And one thing I noticed is that there was some inconsistency in the application of the rules for public comment. The rules were adopted back in 2019, Resolution 19-217. And they state that for comments on resolutions, vouchers, and ordinances, public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Likewise, for public comment in the general section, comments are limited to 5 minutes per person. And I saw that there was some inconsistency on how that was applied. So it's my recommendation that the council abide by the rules that have been previously established, and that the public comment be limited to, as it is in the resolution, to 3 minutes per person on resolution, vouchers, and ordinances, and 5 minutes per person on any matter on the general topic of discussion. So I'll just, case by case as that comes up, I'll point it out if need be. So that's all I had to say about that, Mayor. Thank you.
And before we go into the resolutions, 25-17, there's I believe a spelling mistake. You got Sewer Authority, Township of Ocean Sewer Authority. That is Dave Miller. He's being reappointed to his position. And Rob Gosling to the Planning Board, effective January 9th, 2025, expiring June 30th, 2025. Okay, that's the correction. So any public questions and comments on the consent agenda? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Hold on 1 second, let Jesse get back up.
Good evening. Peter Yunkin, 610 Deal Road. Resolution 6 on sustainable Jersey land use pledge and adopting that. Just turn to that page. Give me a minute. There's reference to creating walkable communities and to preserving open space, and that these subjects would be taken up to include in the next master plan revision and re-examination report. So my question is, when would the next re-examination and revision of the master plan occur?
Just a question on the one res or any other ones?
I do have some other questions.
Okay, go ahead, because we have 5 minutes, so I just want to make sure you get the questions out. 3 minutes.
Resolution 18. My second question. This is in reference to the contract for pedestrian improvements. Is there more detail available as to the scope of work for the pedestrian improvements, and I think it refers to just some as-built conditions that must have occurred that were added. Is there a map or a plan or a description of the pedestrian improvements available? That's my second question. My third question is on Resolution 20, which is investigating the Orchard Plaza block and lot for redevelopment and I guess condemnation. Is there a timeline for that report?
Okay, thank you, Peter. Re-examination, I'm going to send that over to my manager just to enlighten Peter on that one. Do you have information on that, or is that a environmental commission?
Off the top, Mayor, we should get it from Colleen and the boards, but as you know, we just did the land use plan.
Mhm.
So I don't think the actual one is due for another 10 years, but the re-exam, I think, is every year or every 3 years. So we'd have to get determination, but the next re-examination is probably in a year or 3 years, somewhere in there. It's in the municipal land use law prescribed by statute. I just don't recall what it is right now.
If I could just add to that, and that's not done by this body, the reexamination, that's done by the planning board. So that really, we may not know up here, that's a question that probably is better posed to them.
Thank you. And Dave, the scope of work on Deal Road, the increase, you got information on that as well?
No, I think that would be in a full change order, which they probably could come into the municipal clerk's
They can make an
office
appointment with the
and
manager
get that
now?
information.
I have that folder
Okay.
with the map and everything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And as for 21, that's a legal matter. I'm going to throw that over to the attorney.
Yeah, first of all, as to the timeline, once again, this is really authorizing the planning board to do it, so I think it's a better question posed to them. I've also recommended the governing body here not make any further comment aside from what's in the resolution, because there's still an investigation to be had, so it's not appropriate for them to comment at this time.
Thank you, Kev. Any other questions? Resolutions? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Consent agenda passes. Individual action vouchers in the amount of $4,028,560.27. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Vouchers pass. Ordinance is up for adoption. Ordinance 2489, which is ordinance amending Chapter 12, Traffic of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, establishing a speed limit on a portion of Roosevelt Avenue. Someone please open public discussion on Ordinance 2489.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2489.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on Ordinance 2489, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
It's Peter Yunkin, 610 Deal Road again. What is my questions are, what is the current speed limit on Roosevelt Avenue? And what is the proposed speed limit on Roosevelt Avenue?
Any other questions, Peter, on that one?
That's
Just
it.
the speed limit? Okay. It's going to go to 25 miles an hour, both ways. So I don't have the current speed limit here. I only have the proposed one, should the ordinance pass.
I believe it's 35 miles per hour.
Thank you, Doc. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2489.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2489.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2489.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2489 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2489 passes. Ordinance 2490, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 16 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965 entitled Parks and Playgrounds, Section 16-5.2, Program Fees. Can someone please open public discussion on ordinance 2490?
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2490.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2490, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Jackie Wenzel, 610 Deal Road. Can you just explain, just go into a little detail on it?
Any other questions?
The revised playground.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. It's just an increase per participant. Non-residents from $150 to $300
For what? I'm sorry. I didn't.
for a 2-week recreation program.
Which would be at the pool? Is it? For the
I would have to discuss that with the rec director.
So if anyone wants to participate in a recreation program, there's a fee, is what you're saying. And it could be applied to the pool, or we're not sure yet.
What do you mean applied to the pool? It's for a summer recreation 2-week session.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But you're not, no, because I thought it had, I know there's a fee for the pool. It doesn't include
That's
the pool.
separate.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2490? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2490?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2490.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2490.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2490 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2490 passes. Ordinance 2491, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 4 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965 entitled Swimming Pools, Section 14-10.3, Membership. Someone please open discussion on ordinance 2491.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2491.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2491, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2491?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2491.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2491.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2491 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2491 passes. Ordinance 2492, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21, the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance, Section 21-9A, Affordable Housing Development Fees. Someone please open public discussion on ordinance 2492.
I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2492.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2492, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Peter Yunkin, 610 Deal Road. These fees, are this an increase of any fees that are being paid today, or is this new fees that were never being paid?
Dave.
New fees, because this now creates the developers of new single-family detached dwelling units built on an infill lot as part of a minor subdivision shall pay a development fee. Before they did not, so this is now having them pay.
So in the process of going to the planning board for subdivisions and making your applications, those fees would apply there that did not apply before?
Correct, for a new single-family detached dwelling units.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2492?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2492.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Napatani?
Yes. And action on ordinance 2492.
I'd like to move to adopt ordinance 2492 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Napatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2492 passes. And we have introduction to ordinance 1, which is ordinance 2493, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing ordinance 2343 entitled An Ordinance Amending the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965 relating to personnel policies, practices, and procedures, Article 3, Employment, Section 3-28, Continuing Education Procedures. Someone please introduce ordinance 2493.
I'd like to move to introduce ordinance 2493.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Napatani?
Yes. That ordinance will have its public hearing at our next meeting, which is February 13th. Before I have public comments, real quick, just wanted to let people know that we will not be having the discussion in regard, or actually not the discussion, but the presentation on the town hall on January 23rd due to the recent resignation of Kelly Terry. We need time to put a new council person in, and at that point, then we'll be able to schedule that meeting, we hope, by the last week of February. Public comment portion, again, 5 minutes.
Mayor, may I make a point? I know I'm not part of the body, but I want to make a point of order and make sure. Did we amend 25-001 resolution to appoint the township attorney?
Oh, I forgot about that. You're correct. No, we didn't have to.
We discussed
didn't
that.
have to.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We what we said inside was the new township attorney is going to send a letter to the clerk stating that he is declining that, and that will stay with our current attorney. Actually, our current
Thank you.
attorney firm.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Yep. He was appointed prior.
Marty, if you're watching, you're okay.
Public comment portion. Again, step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You do have 5 minutes.
Peter Youngkin, 610 Deal Road. Regarding what was mentioned about the 3 and 5 minute rule for public questions and comments, I guess my comment would be 3 minutes didn't really afford me time for more than 3 questions. And I think you presented a lot tonight. So I still had some more questions. Is there any kind of ability to ask for more time?
Any
I
other
think
questions?
I think it's a comment.
Okay.
So my comment would be, I think I would like to be able to ask, considering the context, if you're introducing a lot of things, I really thought that the reason for limiting the amount of time any one person has is if you have a large crowd at a planning board, it's quasi-legal, I understand all of that. Like tonight, I see, very few residents. Is there any, why wouldn't I feel a little bit more kind of being able to work with you to say, I would like to have some more time, because I wanted to ask actually about the temporary budget. But my 3 minutes was over. So my comment is, it's not enough time. It's never enough time. I respect everybody's time. If there are a lot of people in here in the room, and we're going on for an hour, I certainly would not want to prevent anybody else from coming up. So my comment is, I'd really like you to think about what you can do beyond the letter of the law. Like, I can go back and look at the history of public comment, the reason for it, how it's applied. I feel personally the way it's applied, it's insufficient time for me. That's my comment on that. I also wanted to comment on the temporary budget. I went down to town hall today. I was told I could download the budget for, I guess, 2025 from the town website, which I'll do. And I guess I can't ask a question at this point, but my comment was really on the budget. I think in the past, you've done a really good job of bringing somebody up here and having like a sort of presentation of the budget to residents, and we really, benefit from that. So my comment would be to encourage you throughout the year as you have maybe things that come up. Like you go to a temporary budget from the budget that was previously discussed, to maybe think about quarterly, inviting us either here or bring it up, or if something can be done at the town hall, to have a more regular involvement with you on the budget. That's my other comment. And I yield back a minute and a half.
Thank you, Peter, for your comments. We will take both of those under advisement. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
It's Jackie. I want
Address, please.
610 Deal Road. I wanted to ask again, and maybe this is a question for Manager Brown. In terms of the open space tax, since the last meeting, I guess it was the last meeting I attended, and they said there isn't any more open space. Will that tax be removed from what's being taken from us now? Will there be a rescinding of that tax since there is no longer open space?
Well, there's no more open space to purchase, but there's open space to maintain. And then to your second part of your question is the fact that the council, and probably by referendum, you would have to go back out and then remove it. So that's not an action that I can do as the manager. That would have to be by this body and by referendum that would be voted on by the town.
When we voted, it was to purchase to purchase open space that could be used for recreation, passive recreation and such, but it was not to be used on existing recreation parks. It was to purchase undeveloped space, to preserve it as undeveloped space for possible recreation. It would be additional recreation. But if we're not purchasing new additional land, where did the budget for maintenance on the parks and holiday lights and flags and all these other things that fund has been used on recently? What budget did that come out of before we actually had the resolution for an open space tax?
I can't answer that because when I got here, the tax was in place. So,
well, I just think we're paying an additional tax now that we all believed was to preserve and purchase. It was really to purchase space for recreation.
Can I comment?
Yes, please.
You've made this comment a couple of times, and we've sent you emails stating what the resolution was. So you can't keep saying, well, I respect you, you can't keep saying the resolution was only for the purchase of land. It was not. It clearly was not. So respectfully, you got to stop saying that because it's not true. Having said that,
That's what we were all led to believe.
but if you read the ordinance or the referendum, it clearly, we may have passed an ordinance to create the referendum, but it clearly did not say that.
I would suggest maybe you see the manager more, or the clerk. She's got a copy of the actual what was voted on. So
Well,
I think that,
I guess the majority of us understood it was for the purchase of open space to be used for recreation. That was the interpretation many of us believed it was for. Because otherwise, why would we have we were taking care of our parks before that, so why would we need a new resolution for that?
Well, if I may, if you look at Oakhurst Park, Fireman's Field, you look at Wayside, you look at Wanamassee, you look
Right.
at Joe Palea Park, all
Right.
new playgrounds in all of the facilities in the last 3 years. So that money came from that open space tax.
So you made new parks in the existing open
Playgrounds.
space, playgrounds.
Playgrounds, not new, upgraded them all, as an example. So
But-
while it wasn't, we didn't purchase any land, we improved the parks that we had, which was the purpose of the referendum to begin with.
Yeah.
And if I may make one other comment,
Yes.
the manager's right. We can't, without a referendum, rescind the cost of the current fee, but we could look at it,
Okay.
didn't say we would, but it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
No, it's
Meaning-
just the people should be aware. You're very aware because this is what you do every day. For many of the public, when we went in and voted for it, it was presented in such a way. At the time, we were losing the 32 acres, and the point was, we're going to put this resolution. If you want more land, and we have this kitty to purchase more land, and that's really was top of mind. Within the small print was, and there'll be recreation, but we all assumed, as not being members of the council, that meant that open space could be used for recreation.
I'll
Not
just
that we
remind you
would
that
use it for the existing recreation.
We did purchase open space. We purchased 6 acres
I know.
in Kepwell.
Yeah,
So,
I remember.
We did that. We still have to maintain these parks and recreation.
But at
so.
this point, we're
I
not
would
doing it.
suggest maybe you go in with the clerk. She'll give you a copy of what we all voted on.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty plain.
But
Thank you.
I think the intention was that. So anyway, I was wondering were we going to get that tax back, but I guess not.
Mayor, can I make one comment too?
Yes, sir.
We still have open space available. We can it's the town's not sold out. We can use that money to purchase existing lands, hence the Kepwell property. So it's not like there's not any land left. We can purchase land if it's available to the township for sale. And
But that would be great, but we were told
and-
the last meeting there is
No,
no
no,
more
no.
open space.
I think that was misunderstood. That's why I'm trying to clear this up.
Okay.
And that whole idea is that we have this fund to preserve land. So if somebody's got a nice chunk of land and it's the right deal and it comes to the township, sure, we can preserve that land. Well, and that's what happened at Kepwell. So, to preserve it, correct. Yeah, we're not sold out. No, I think that was misunderstood. We're not, if it's for sale and it's the right deal for the township and it makes sense, we'll look at it.
And to that point, last meeting we had someone come to the meeting and ask about a walking trail. I looked into that walking trail till we could purchase it, but it is a former oil and gas petroleum site. So the town will not be looking into that because there's going to be a DEP mitigation and everything to come with that, and we don't need that. But we're more than what people know, and it's for sale. We will look at it. But right now, we no one's come to us. So to Councilman Fisher's point, somebody has to come to us like Kepwell came and said, "Here's all this land." The council took advantage and purchased it.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Dennis, we have other seats up here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Dennis, I never liked the front when I was in school either.
Dennis Howlett, Oak Street, 238 Oak Street. I thank Doctor for clarifying the potential use of the fund going forward. It's not sold out. I think it wasn't misunderstood. I don't think it was as clearly explained as you just attempt to get back there. In the hope of avoiding some repetitive questions going forward, I know there's going to be a meeting about the potential new town hall. And I think that before that meeting, a definitive description of what the criteria were for getting on a list of 6 properties. For instance, that the property couldn't have an oil well, that the property had to be a certain size, that the property could be developed without too much expense in making it accessible, like the property's too far off the road, that type of thing. Somebody, if the criteria that made those properties available to the list
Hold on.
was on this,
Dennis, hold on.
The boss is here. Hold on.
Yeah, the salute.
the idea, I think an awful lot of people have no idea of why certain properties were picked and why other properties were not. And for that, an example is, every time I talk to somebody about the new town hall, they say, why don't they put it on Logan Road at the old school? Well, I've been fortunate enough to find out some reasons why that is not appropriate as a candidate for the building. If that reasoning was made available to the people in the town, we could probably avoid a lot of repetitive questions. And if that reasoning were put on the, say, a little dialogue or a little, what do you call them, cheat notes on a town website before the next meeting, before you make a presentation about this is what is the status of the building on Palea Park, the white building that when you go in the maintenance area is completely inappropriate for such and such a reason. We're not going to use the school on Logan Road because there's a potential to develop it and it might be up for sale. That type of idea. I think you could avoid a lot of repetitive questions. That's my 3 cents.
Thank you, Dennis.
Inflation.
Dennis, great point. That was something that I'll tell you, we, obviously we can add that to the presentation as to why certain properties were not. And it can be added to the comprehensive discussion that we have. So I appreciate those comments. Thank you. Well, I mean, we're trying to put everything together, so I'll talk to the manager about, potentially messaging out. Okay? Thank you.
That's what's in part of the presentation.
Yep, that's why we're doing the presentation, so that we can get the input. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming. Happy New Year, everyone.
Okay.